Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And I'm here with my man Savvy. We're going to have a discussion about LeBron James and the comments he made about Madison Square Garden this weekend. And of course, it fuels the fire. LeBron James one day playing at Madison Square Garden. This is what he said, Savvy. I'm going to read this off to you, then I want to know what you think. He was watching The Last Dance. And of course, you know, Michael Jordan always had a love affair with Madison Square Garden. And Michael Jordan talks about how he loves playing at Madison Square Garden. And LeBron James sends out a tweet. He says, man, ain't nothing like Madison Square Garden. Then the Staples Center, they get a little bit jealous. And they respond with a tweet with a little boy looking sad, a meme of a little boy looking sad, and an emoji with a teardrop. And so then LeBron James responds to the Staples Center. He says, oh, don't worry. I freaking love and miss the Staples Center so much. And he has a bunch of emojis, you know, a prayer, a heart, you know, a muscle, crown. But Savvy.
Sam.
This is LeBron James at his finest, right? It's what he always does. He always seems to, every year, find some way to tease the Knicks fans, right? What's up with that, man? What's up with it?
Hey, you know what's funny? The boy really teasing himself. Honestly, we all know he's never going to come play for the Knicks.
It's not.
Every time he does this and he puts that possibility out there, we're all going to remember, nah, he ain't the guy for the challenge. All right? Because I was over here watching The Last Dance, and I'm revisiting my assessments of LeBron James. You know, I used to have the perspective of the guy is now as soft compared to the old league, you know, because I had heard that, and I accepted that as true based on what I saw and heard. But now that I've been watching this Last Dance documentary, I'm thinking more like, you know what? Both of these guys could jump into each other's eras and do well, right?
Right.
Now, the funny thing about the documentary is that people have been saying it's going to have a certain impact on Knicks fans, but I bet you they didn't think it was going to be this one.
Right. They didn't think it was going to be this one. Look, LeBron James had his chance to play in Madison Square Garden. Obviously, in 2010, there was excitement everywhere that he was coming to the Garden. And there's always the speculation that he didn't come to the Garden because he couldn't stand the pressure. He didn't want the pressure. I think maybe that was part of it. But they also, the Knicks didn't have the infrastructure in place. Right? He just didn't have the infrastructure in place. I honestly don't believe. I think I was asked the question a couple of days ago, whenever it was. Everything seems to run together now. If LeBron James had come to the Garden in 2010, would he have won a championship? And I answered no, that I didn't think he would, because I just don't feel that the Garden at that time had the right people in place to put the players around LeBron James to make it a successful team. Would they have won games? Yes. Would they have maybe gone to the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes. I'm not sure they would have won a championship. I think that's past. It's gone. You know, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gone. You know, LeBron James had his chance to play in the Garden. How old is LeBron now?
It's got to be, 33 at least?
33, 34 years old. He's got a 4-year contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. This is year one of that year two contract. 2 more years left. He'd be 37, 38 when he's done. Unless he gets traded, I see him ending his career most likely in Los Angeles. That's what I think. You know, that's what I think.
I see that same thing. Turns out he's 35 already, December 30th, 84.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's 35.
Yeah. So he's a little bit older than I thought he was. And if he had come back then, I don't think we would have probably won either, because we still had Steve Mills, non-basketball mind in occupation that at that time. That was the year before he took the year off, you know, and then came back. Or I might actually be 1 year late on that actually. But even in that scenario, it was either Mills or a new president at the time. And then we didn't have any of the tertiary pieces around on the team that we would have needed in order to flesh out a championship team. Right. And so that, along with just the way that they were making decisions back then and the style of ball that they were trying to play, I don't think that would have been the right circumstances at that particular time. Now, if you ask me if he would have came in 2013, okay, if we could have won the chip, I think absolutely. I think absolutely.
2013. He was a free agent in 2013.
Listen, no.
After 20, okay, I was going to say, because after 2010, you know, I forgot about LeBron James and knowing when he was a free agent and everything, and just tried to focus on the Knicks. Well,
absolutely.
But so you saying if he would have came in 2013, who'd you have? Melo, Amari?
We had Melo, Amari, Jason Kidd, and Chandler.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, listen, a guy like Jason Kidd knows what to do. You know, Carmelo played well that season in that playoff push, right? But we had lackluster performances from J.R. Smith, and then I believe that was the year that Stoudemire also hurt his hand and took himself out of the game, right? And so I feel like if we would have had a guy like LeBron James at that time, mobilizing that unit, that whole Knicks tape year would have turned out totally different. Totally different.
Okay. I mean, you know, I can't disagree with you there. I definitely can't disagree with you if you're talking about Melo. I mean, okay, so I guess if you look back at it, 2010, the Knicks, if LeBron James would have come in 2010, Amari still would have came, right? Right. You still would have had Amari Stoudemire. Would have been LeBron and Amari.
Wouldn't have Melo.
You're saying we wouldn't have him. You think? You don't think so?
Then Carmelo came in 2011, right?
Carmelo came in 2011.
2011.
He came at the trade deadline in 2011. They traded that young group of guys.
Yeah. A decent group of guys, too.
Right. So,
you know, like Gallinari is still playing a very contributive role on a good team.
So if Amari was signed, well, I guess not, because, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think about, you know, what happened after Amari was signed. So Amari was signed, and then they traded for Carmelo, right? They traded a bunch of young guys for Carmelo.
Right.
And then the following year, they amnestied Chauncey Billups and they signed Tyson Chandler.
Yes.
Right? So I'm just trying to think. It may not have happened all at once, but maybe if Amari and LeBron was there, right? And then you wouldn't have gotten Chauncey Billups. So I don't know if there would have been a way to work it so that you got Carmelo Anthony as well, because you wouldn't have gotten Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups came in the Carmelo Anthony trade.
And J.R. Smith did also, didn't he?
J.R. Smith? No, I think J.R. Smith was playing in China.
Wasn't he on Denver with him?
But remember, there was a lockout. So he was playing in China over that, you know, and his contract expired. He was playing in China, and then he came back and he signed with the Knicks.
That's I forgot that happened too. Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah, so
I forgot about his China stint.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm thinking, I feel like there would have been some kind of way that they would have been able to work out to get Carmelo to the Knicks. If they would have signed LeBron James, you know, some way, somehow, maybe it would have happened because they had enough money to sign two players, not really three, but I'm sure they would have traded the farm if they could have with multiple draft picks if they had to. if you're going to have Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, and Amari Stoudemire. With that three, and of course, this is all, obviously, it didn't happen, right? So we're just talking right now. Would the Knicks have won a championship with those three guys right there? Melo, LeBron, Amari.
Melo, LeBron, Amari.
Amari probably would have still gotten hurt. Then now you got Carmelo and you got LeBron James.
And you got Carmelo and Bron. You would have Melo playing the 4. You'd have Bron on the 3, Tyson Chandler on the 5, Jason Kidd on the 1. I think you could do something still with that roster. Actually, I think Stoudemire. I mean, listen. If you ask me, if it's my roster to make, and I'm picking one guy out, I'm leaving Stoudemire on the table, and I'm taking Melo and my guys, and I'm going.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? But also, I believe if we have a leadership quality like LeBron on the team, Stoudemire doesn't punch a fire extinguisher and take himself out of the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what? Everything would have been different because he punched that fire extinguisher playing Miami, right? They lost to Miami in Miami. Miami wouldn't have had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. It would have been a totally different team. He probably wouldn't have punched the fire extinguisher.
And you know what's funny about that year was that we were a good matchup for Miami that year. I was waiting on that series.
Right. We were a great matchup for Miami that year.
We were a great matchup.
We had a little bit of moxie with Melo and Amari out there. And
our role players had an attitude.
Yeah. We had some tough role players.
Knicks tape was real, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But listen, I always wonder. Michael Jordan was LeBron James' favorite player. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, those guys. He's one of his favorite players. I'm not going to say the only one of his favorite players. How much, this whole thing with Madison Square Garden is LeBron just doing it so that he can be like Mike, right? Or is it real?
I mean, I think it's real for every player. I think all of that speculation about how sad Knicks fans were going to be, I think it clearly skipped over the psyche of the NBA community as a whole when the Knicks are good and contending. People are seeing the Knicks in playoff runs and in the finals, and they're starting to remember what it's like when the Knicks are good and Madison Square Garden is still being filled up in the postseason.
Right.
Okay. Players are looking at players back then doing it on that hard wood, okay, by that Knicks logo in the orange and blue, and they're like, dang. You know what I mean? If only I could have that.
Right.
But here's the thing, right? And this is the beautiful coincidence of this all, is that the way people talk about us now, with a few exceptions due to our history and expectation set, is the way, at least performance-wise, that they were talking about the Bulls back then, at least as it seems to me presented by the documentary. They were like a joke franchise and doing horrible and considered a loser franchise, much like we are perceived today, right? And so when you look at the acquisition of Michael Jordan and the immediate impact and the attitude that he had when he came into the league, I would dare anybody to find any player getting drafted to the Knicks with that kind of a head of steam, with that kind of an attitude. By the time I leave here, I hope to win the championship. It's something that every single free agent signing has said that we've gotten in the past 10, 15 years.
Right.
But no one takes them seriously because they've all said it. And because when they say it, they know they're supposed to say it, and not because they're putting the pressure on themselves to do it. They know that if they ultimately don't deliver, no one's going to blame them. They'll blame the franchise. And so even if you had that level of toughness of heart in some of these players, it wouldn't even be called for it anyway. You know, I think players are seeing prime time Knicks, and they're starting to be like, man, if that place was good right now, I would think about it.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, I mean, he never did it. He never did it, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? I can't get mad. There's a lot of Knicks fans that, you know, get mad at LeBron for not coming or whatever. I don't get mad at him. But I've you know, any dream, or I don't even know that I ever really had a big dream that he was coming. But you know, I've left it all in the past. It's done. You know, I've been done with it. But I do want to ask you this though. At the age of, let me see, you said LeBron is 35. He's got 2 more years on his contract. He'll be 37 when he retired. Well, not when he retires, when his contract is finished with the Lakers. Would you take him on the Knicks at 37? 2 years from now, would you take him?
What seed are we?
I mean, all right, so let's look at it. Let's say right now we have RJ Barrett, we have Kevin Knox, we got Frank Ntilikina, we got a draft pick coming in. Okay, we got some young guys. We still got Julius Randle on the team. We still have, I'm speaking right now, going into next season. I don't know who else, you know, I mean, yeah, I guess that's probably the only other guy, you know, Mitch Robinson. Okay, so then let's say, you know, you pick up a draft pick. Next year, we get a little bit better. We were on pace maybe to win 24, 25 games this season. Let's say next year we win 33, 34 games, right? And then the following season, you know, we win 41 games.
41
and then
games.
We win 41 games. We look like we're a team that's on the rise. What would you do? Would you bring him in?
I'm not gonna ask this expecting an answer. It's just more of a joke. But did the Chris Paul trade happen?
Did the Chris Paul trade happen? That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, because
did the Chris Paul trade happen? Let's say it does not happen. Let's say it does not happen.
Trade does not happen. Yes, I take him. I take him at age 37 as a free agent. We're a 41-win team. If we can get into the playoffs, right, with a young team on the rise, a young, energetic, healthy team on the rise, I would take them, show them how to get to the second show them how to get to the second round. Show them how to get to the conference finals. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't take us to, even if you can't push this team to a finals berth, okay? If you could get them in the second round, maybe even the third round, I think even if you retire that very next year, you've given them a valuable lifelong experience that they can take into the next season.
Okay. Would you expect, I feel like anytime you sign LeBron James, the expectation is that he's fighting to win the championship, right? You know, that's the expectation. You're going to win now. He's not looking for second round. He's not looking for Eastern Conference Finals. He's looking to try to make that trip to the finals. How do you build around it? Because, I mean, you know, you would have some money. You would probably have some money. How do you build around him? He's 37 years old. You know,
he would, I mean, I'm assuming he's coming off the bench, right? Like, he's not starting, right?
I don't know. I don't know if LeBron James, I don't know. It depends. What is he like at that point in his career?
If he comes to me and tells me he wants to start, I'm going to look at him and be like, you want to start? And if he says, yeah, I want to start, I'll be like, all right, you start. You feel me? And I'll let you start. And we can build around you as the point forward. Okay?
Because even at 37, you know, the thing is at 37, you know, you got a 2-year window to win with LeBron.
Yes.
At 37. To me, 2-year window tops. So even at 37 years old, he's going to be, with the Knicks team that we have right now, he'll be the best player on the team. Without
best player on the team.
No doubt in my mind. He'll be the best player on the team immediately. You know, so that'd be a tough one.
I would still want to have a strong point guard in place because we're gonna have to load manage his minutes a lot.
Yeah. With Madison, with the fans, not just you and I, but fans, would they accept him? Would they say, "Yeah, come on, we want LeBron"? And how much do you pay him? But would the fans, you know, would they be cool with it?
Of course they will.
Okay, all right.
Of course they will. Come on.
How much you paying
know what
him?
I mean?
How much you paying him?
Is a veteran's minimum even on the table? Like,
no way. No way. No way the veteran. I don't think so. I don't think there's any way that the veteran's minimum is on the table for him.
Did he win a chip in LA before he came over here?
Right. That's another question. Does he, did he win a trip? Now you look at what's going on this year. There's a chance we don't have a season. Maybe don't have the playoffs. He may, that takes a year off of, if he doesn't win a chip this year, he's got to try to do it in two years the remaining 2 years he has on his contract. I don't know, man.
Hey, this dude's ending might be iller than his whole career, man. Yo. Like what he does in these last two, if he gets it done,
it'd be something. I can tell you what, I can already hear him. I can hear him at the Garden, retiring as a Knick, saying, "It didn't work out, but this is where I wanted to be my entire career." I can hear it right now. I know that's exactly what he would say.
Oh, man, I would hate him.
I know that's exactly what he would say, and he'd say,
I would regret everything I just said if he said that.
I can hear it. I can hear it now. I always wanted to be a Knick.
I want to hear.
and it's there's nothing better than ending my career as a Knick. I could hear it, but
why you ain't coming to be one then?
Right,
man?
exactly.
Why you ain't coming to be one then?
Exactly.
Because going back to the point I made earlier about when Jordan first got drafted to the team, the last player that had that sort of a gravitas that could have made a bold declaration in the beginning like that was LeBron James. He was the last guy that you would want to hear it from and take him seriously. I can't think of a guy since that has been that same way, right? Yeah. Because people knew from the beginning this guy was going to be something special.
Right.
So if he had just made the hard decision, just come on board the shit. Lead, be first, okay? And just on the strength of that, I guarantee you we can get some good free agents wanting to come in. But like you said, it takes an organization. Like Jerry Krause said, it takes an organization.
That's it. It takes an organization, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look, this is all speculation based off of LeBron James mentioning Madison Square Garden, flirting with the Madison Square Garden fans, the New York Knicks fans, as usual. It's all speculation. Just a good conversation starter. LeBron James is in LA. I think he's going to retire as a Laker. I don't think you're ever going to see him suit up in the orange and blue. You know what I'm saying? So we're just talking here. It's all speculation, man.
Can I ask you one last question, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So let's say he wins in both of his remaining seasons in LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he gets 2 more chips. He has 5 chips now, right? 37 years old, signs to the Knicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he gets 2 more chips,
Woo.
right? Let's say he gets 2 more chips, right? 4 in a row.
Two more chips with the Knicks. You saying say he gets
2 more chips as a Knick. Now he's got 7.
Okay.
4 in a row in the last 4 years. How are we talking about him now all time?
I mean, he's pretty close to being. I mean, if you quantify being the best by championships, and of course you add some other things in there,
like dragging the Knicks to a championship after.
Yeah, he'd be pretty close to being the best. Obviously, you're still going to have the conversation Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, but some
He
other
would
guy
have a
has, but
statue in 2 states, Cleveland and New York.
yeah, he would. He would. He would definitely have a statue in New York or something. I don't know if they do that stuff at Madison Square Garden. You know how James Dolan is, but his picture would obviously be on the wall when you walk down the hallway to some of those suites. They put him up
Yeah.
there.
That's Madison James Garden now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, anyway,
All
ladies
right,
and
man.
gentlemen, it's all speculation. LeBron James is with the Lakers. I feel like he's staying. He's going to finish his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Will he win chips? We'll see. I don't know. The Knicks, they're trying to build, and hopefully we can build a superstar that's going to be the LeBron James of the New York Knicks. Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. But good conversation, Savvy, man. I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. And,
Always a pleasure, my brother.
no doubt about it, man. We see you guys next time. Be peaceful.
And